Thursday night football, reigning MVP Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs need to get back on track. The AFC is in the balance. Von Miller, though, and the Broncos, they're picking up some steam and they're looking to defend their mile-high turf. Chiefs, Broncos, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network, on Fox, and streaming on Prime Video. Chiefs and Broncos coming into this game with two very different mindsets. The Broncos defense secured a shutout against the Titans in Week 6. The Chiefs have lost 2 straight, but it's a different streak the Broncos are focused on this week. Jeff Chadiha is with us with the Chiefs, but let's kick it off first with James Palmer on the Broncos.
Von Miller reminded us today that the Broncos haven't beaten the Kansas City Chiefs since Peyton Manning retired, but he also added that he believes this Broncos team is the best one since Manning's departure. Now, a lot's going to fall on this defense trying to slow down the MVP and Patrick Mahomes, and Vic Fangio has made some key adjustments to the defensive line and linebacking group, but multiple players I talked to said that it's going to fall on the secondary. When I talked to safety Will Parks, he told me we want to try to show as many different looks to Mahomes as we can to try to confuse him, and he said we can do that because we have about 3 or 4 players in our secondary that can play multiple positions. Parks is one of them. He found out the day before the game against the Titans last week he was going to be playing nickel corner. And also Kareem Jackson, who they brought in free agency as a converted corner to a safety, last couple of weeks has been playing that safety spot brilliantly. This defense has 5 picks in the last 2 games, and they want that to continue against Mahomes on Thursday night. Now let's go to Jeff Chadiha with the Chiefs.
Thanks, James. Well, in Kansas City, there's a lot of issues on the offense right now with Patrick Mahomes being banged up, the offensive line having a ton of injuries, and they're committing a lot of penalties. But having Tyreek Hill back in the lineup is a big boost. He had 5 catches for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Houston Texans last week. And as Patrick Mahomes said, he makes a huge difference in this lineup. The Chiefs are seeing a lot of man coverage in the last couple games. But with Hill out there, defensive backs are backing off. They're playing looser, and it's allowing the Chiefs to make more plays down the field. Hill also has the ability to stretch the defense, and with this offense struggling to run the football, that's even more impactful. Andy Reid was also happy about the fact that Hill came out of that game without any issues. Obviously, he missed the last 4 games with a collarbone injury, but after Sunday night, he felt pretty good about where he was at. We'll see what happens against Denver.
Jeff Chadiha, James Palmer, thanks so much. I'm excited for this game. There are 2 teams in very different places, but it's all going on in the AFC West. Last 2 weeks, the Broncos defense showed up, 13 points allowed to the Chargers in their first win of the season, and they did shut out. And I can't imagine what that does to a defense, right? Pitching a shutout. Bradley Chubb goes down. Von Miller's leading this defense. Can they stop the Chiefs?
Yeah, this is the game that everyone's curious to see because you've got one team trending upwards finally and one team trending downwards. I look at that Chiefs offense, and we made so much about Tyreek Hill, and you mentioned Eric Fisher, the starting left tackle. Guys, Sammy Watkins is such an important part to this team. They had so many high hopes for Sammy in the preseason. He went down with another injury, and again, here we are in year number 1,000 of Sammy Watkins' career. Will he play or won't he play? Week to week, week to week. Thursday is a quick turnaround. He didn't obviously play last week. I think Sammy Watkins might be the missing ingredient to that Chiefs offense, and it wasn't necessarily Tyreek Hill or even the offensive line play. They're out their guard also. But this Chiefs offense, it's not what it was last year when they played the Broncos twice, and it certainly wasn't what it was before Sammy Watkins went down. Curious to see the injury report, and Sammy Watkins can't be underestimated.
You know, Arrowhead Pride is one of our favorite blogs.
Yes.
The Chiefs blog, great blog. They reached out to me yesterday and said, can you make a prediction for this game? We want to post it. And I'm thinking about putting on the black hat or putting on the barrel and picking the Broncos in this one. Peter's talking about Sammy Watkins. I want to talk about Chris Harris Jr., who was an unbelievably good cornerback. And I just think when you play Mahomes, whether it's Watkins, Hill, I think your DBs really got to show up. He had a great day, Chris Harris did, against the Chargers, so much against Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was mad and started tweeting, this boy can't hold my jock strap, and there was a whole thing about it. He is a fantastic player, and we're going to talk Von and everything, but I think to beat Mahomes, you got to have someone who can run with Tyreek or Sammy or Kelsey, whoever it is. Chris Harris Jr., I think, is going to be the key to this game. As obscure as that may sound, the DB. And I think, I don't know, it's a game-time decision for me. This one stinks like an upset special.
Going on the team blog and picking the other team is like going above and beyond us doing on our show.
He wants to bring back the barrel?
Yeah,
look,
the barrel.
I think we got it somewhere. I don't know where that barrel. I wore a barrel last year.
I don't think we do, but we'll check. I don't know if we do.
He doesn't like cold wipes, but he'll wear the barrel. Okay,
right.
I got you. This game, sometimes the Thursday night games just surprise you.
Yeah.
They go against everything that the stats will tell you. Mahomes has owned the Broncos defense, but to me, the story might also be the Chiefs defense or lack thereof. When you look at this Chiefs defense on the ground, they're giving up almost 162 yards rushing. Yeah. So
Lindsay, dude.
They're not scoring the same amount of points that we saw from last year, like you were talking about. The best game we saw last year was Rams-Chiefs, that 100-plus points. So now the defense has got to find a way to step up. So I'm curious to see how that is affected by this Broncos rushing offense, because you mentioned Lindsay.
Philip Lindsay's going to have a day.
You're not going to ask Joe Flacco to keep up with Mahomes in the passing game, but this run game for the Broncos offense is for real.
Speaking of Broncos running backs, all season long we're celebrating the moments, the events, the icons of the last 100 years of NFL action, including this Hall of Famer. Here is TD. We salute you.
NFL 100. Make some noise for Denver Broncos legend, Terrell Davis. Look, allow me to introduce y'all to TD, the two-time Super Bowl champion, 1998 MVP. That's Terrell Davis, goodness gracious. Once his cleats touched the field, he's dangerous. And when it came down to celebrations, he made the Mile High Salute famous.
Davis with the salute to anybody that'll salute back.
And you gotta salute that. You think not, probably should move back. Already in the Hall of Fame. In 2017 when they called his name. In Super Bowl 32, 3 touchdowns, 157 yards when he called the game. That's game. Had a 2,000-yard season in 98. It's only 6 other players that great. Got any objections? I'll wait. Mr. Davis, anytime you went up against him, your hands tied. Over 7K rushing yards and 60 touchdowns, a record for the Broncos franchise.
Not bad.
We got TD doing the Mile High Salute with Slick Willie. And that's why we do these things. An unbelievable moment. I love that stuff. President Clinton, we see you.
Hall of Famer, and he waited a little bit, but
Clinton?
he got in there, and he's one of no. Clinton is on some sort of Hall of Fame.
Which one?
I'm going to go.
He snuck in.
There was a debate last night. I'm going to go with Terrell Davis as a Hall of Famer, and also a colleague of ours, and a great guy. Love talking to him.
You work
Yeah,
with him.
TD's awesome. Delivered his own babies, too.
What?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yes, I salute you for that.
He
literally
delivered the. I don't know this about
Like,
this.
he have a
both hands on the football, high and tight, delivered his own.
In an emergency situation? Or
No,
he does not, he wanted-
planned.
What?
The doula, everything. Yeah, actually
that's
did one.
fantastic.
Like back of a
delivered one
cab? What are we
Super
talking
Bowl
about?
week with us. He left on like a Thursday, flew back home, delivered the
When
baby.
you
Was
say
back.
delivered, you meant
I mean,
quarterback to center exchange?
I mean, yes, underneath. This was not shotgun. This was underneath.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Do you have the
TD.
footage?
TD, no, we don't want that.
I ran out of the room
TD,
like, oh, I got
awesome.
helicoptered in the air. See you later. Bye-bye. Wow, TD.
Let's talk about
I went missing like golf. That's
did?
what, yeah, that was it.
Broncos, you left me in the middle of Which Guy Wednesday to go there. It's true story. True story.
Wow.
That game, of course, to kick off Week 7 is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on NFL Network on Fox and Prime Video. Will Selva, take it away. What's going on in the news?
Well, I can tell you that Terrell Davis does not use heated wipes, cold wipes, KB. Sorry. If you're out in the park and
Take
there's an
him out of
accident,
Canton.
That's it.
you can't. I'm sorry. Just no heat. What are you going to do? Either way, the Patriots making some tight end moves over the last couple of days. Tuesday, re-signing Ben Watson and adding Eric Tomlinson as they continue to find a replacement for Rob Gronkowski. But people keep speculating on if and when Gronk could return to save the day. But the former Patriots tight end shutting down any rumors of him potentially returning to the Pats this season. Gronk telling WEEI in Boston when he retired for a reason. Gronk says he never says no because when he does, people think he's kidding. But the answer is just that, a no. Saying, quote, in my mind, that's how it is. It's a no. Got it? Good. Well, the Bengals secondary taking another hit due to injury. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reporting starting cornerback William Jackson is expected to miss at least a few weeks because of a shoulder injury. Fellow corner Drake Kirkpatrick also lost for about a month with a shoulder injury. The Bengals, along with Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, hosting an NFL Play 60 event for about 200 students from Hughes High School to help promote 60 minutes of play each day in an effort to stay fit and to make Cincinnati's kids the healthiest in the nation. The players also talked about living a healthy lifestyle and eating right. The Giants getting set for a showdown with the Cardinals and top overall pick Kyler Murray. New York knows how they could have their hands full containing Murray. Defensive end Dalvin Tomlinson says, quote, in the pocket, his footwork is super quick. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog out there. Whose tails, whose knuckles? That's what we want to know. Either way, teammate Dexter Lawrence also invoking video games when describing Murray, saying, quote, PlayStation speed, strong arm, elusive. So nothing but praise, video game praise for Kyler Murray. No one talks about SSX Tricky. That was a big game I used to play, the snowboarding games.
Game.
What? Yeah, it was a great game.
Great game.
Yeah, NBA Street also was great. Come on. Drake,
you were like 35 when that game came out. Will. What are you talking about? NBA Street. That was like 10 years ago.
Thanks,
Will's in that game. You see that?
NFL Blitz was awesome too.
You're talking great video games. I'm looking at this docket for Week 7. There are some great games on this bad boy, including the Cowboys, who need to turn things around. They play, of course, Sunday Night Football. They host the Eagles, and they're in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. How do they turn it around? And the Giants are just one game back of these two squads.
Yeah.
Saquon, come on, baby.
Can you believe that? One game out.
Maybe they should have